Welcome to our webinar about the Off-Market Association, or the OMA. The Off-Market Association offers a fresh new concept for commercial real estate professionals and finance professionals to earn fees and income from a multitude of sources. The two main affiliates of the OMA are Genesis Capital and Synovus Financial. Genesis Capital handles disposition of large commercial real estate deals, whether they are notes sourced from banks or commercial real estate deals off-market from sellers. Synovus Financial handles all forms of financing and specializes in small business financing such as the SBA and microloans, but also handles commercial real estate. Genesis Capital has a vetted database of 15,000 buyers for the properties. Genesis members, or OMA members, source commercial real estate off-market, whether it's from direct sellers or whether it's from banks such as notes or REOs, for this large database who are hungry for purchases and hungry for investments. The Genesis Capital also has a small division called the Small Balance Multifamily Division because there's such velocity and interest in buying small multifamily deals. Synovus Financial is a financial services firm whose mission is rebuilding the U.S. economy one business and one loan at a time. The focus is on helping those with commercial real estate either finance or refinance their deals, but there's a special emphasis on small business through the SBA loans and the microloans for small business. The landscape for business has changed since 2008, and if you are a commercial real estate broker or a finance professional, you know this very well. You've been living through it. The Off-Market Association has looked at the roadblocks that exist, and they've come up with solutions to enhance income possibilities for commercial real estate and for finance professionals. So let's give you an example of what we mean by overcoming roadblocks. Small banks are one example. They have had a hard time since 2008. They have a lot of bad loans or bad legacy loans on their books. They're unable to lend. There are new regulations that were really targeted at the big banks, but it affects the small banks. And many of them are just frankly unable to lend, even to small businesses that would have a good credit history or in any other situation they would be able to lend to. So what Synovus has done is we've come up with fast micro loans. These are non-bank loans, they're short-term, and they get capital into the hands of small businesses so they can do what they need to do, which is grow, which is hire people, which is stabilize and help their community, help the economy, but absolutely help them. So the underwriting is sophisticated, but it's quite simple and it's different than bank underwriting. There's a one-page application, 4 months of bank statements, and the emphasis is on the cash flow of the business and the ability to repay the loan, the overall cost, not on collateral, not on credit history. That's far less emphasized, and other things that a bank would typically do in their underwriting. Another big difference is the loans can be approved as quickly as 2 to 4 days and funded in 7 to 10 days. So there's no waiting around. It's very clear cut. So the solution here is it helps the small businesses. It helps you who refer the small businesses earn a fee and earn the fee very quickly. And it helps, in the general sense, helps the economy. We have a full range of marketing, of training, more than 36 brochures, drip campaigns, of everything you need to know and to do for this particular task of the microloans. And that's simply to introduce the product to local small businesses, screen them, and refer. So that's one situation or one example of what Synovus is doing to overcome roadblocks and enhance abilities for you to earn fees. several more ways that you could earn fees and get around some of the roadblocks in the new environment. You could go to and work with your local banks, your community banks, and even credit unions. You can source distressed debt, non-performing notes, or REOs for the investors at Genesis Capital who are quite hungry for those types of deals. That can help the bank get bad debt off of their books, and that can help earn you fees from the sale of these assets to Genesis Capital investors. And Genesis Capital has a 15,000 database strong that's looking for all types of deals, including non-performing notes. You could go to your local banks and present the Synovus SBA services. Now, this is a very interesting thing. When a bank offers SBA loans, they can become more profitable and more stable thanks to the government guarantees and the way that these loans are set up. But they're very complicated, and it's quite expensive for a small bank to try to set up their own SBA division. By offering the services through Synovus Financial, there are no upfront costs to the bank, and these services are either A to Z, everything from origination and packaging and structuring and dealing with the SBA, all the way through compliance and servicing, or a bank could just engage Synovus for one or two of those services. So they actually have different ways that they can go. But the end result is that you can earn fees by helping the small banks in your community. And when you help those small banks, it also means that you're helping the businesses and you're helping the economy, because they'll be able to make those loans. So that's just another two examples of ways that the OMA is looking at problems and finding solutions, and you can earn fees along the way. So let's take a look at some of the examples of fees that you could earn as an OMA member through Genesis Capital or Synovus Financial. So the first example here is microloans. Let's say you presented microloan to a local vet and he decides to take a $100,000 loan. You would earn 100 basis points or $1,000 for that particular loan. Now, many OMA members do put a certain amount of focus on the microloans, and that is simply because there is so much pent-up demand, there's so much interest. There's a lot of small businesses that need these types of loans, and they turn around very quickly. So that means you can help them quickly and you can earn your referral fee very quickly. So just to point out that that is something that there is a certain amount of focus by all of the members. Now, commercial refi. Let's say you go to one of your clients or to someone in your community who's desperate to find a refi on their building. They may have financed that before the crash, and now the bank that holds the loan just cannot make that refi. You refer that $3 million building, you earn a $6,000 fee. Let's say you source a $30 million office building in your community, and that is for Genesis Capital. One of the institutional buyers purchases that building. You would earn $225,000 on that closing. Let's say you refer an SBA loan. It's a little bit more complicated and a longer process than the microloans, but the terms are better, and some businesses like to try to go that route. So you would earn $4,000 on just a $1 million SBA loan, and many SBA loans are larger than $1 million. Let's say that you talk to your local bank and you sourced a $1 million distress note for the Genesis database, and that was snapped up by the Genesis buyers. You would earn $9,000 for that sale. And then you went and you presented the SBA services from Synovus to a local bank, and they offer their first SBA loan of $5 million. You would earn $2,500, but the way this is set up is you would earn referral fees for an entire year from that bank, from all of the SBA business that is done at that bank. And by the way, you can go out and try to originate and find businesses who need SBA loans and send them to that bank. Whether or not you originate, you would still earn referral fees. So you could fill your pipeline through that particular service. So those are just some examples of fees and examples of how you can work in various areas to enhance your fee earning ability. The OMA Hub will be used by all OMA members, and this is a site that really links out to all areas of your work, of your referrals, the universities, the marketing site, etc. And it was conceived of to be an easy area for you to get things done. So we're going to give you a demonstration on the next slide. This is a very brief look at the OMA Hub. This is located at omahub.me, and this site was conceived of as an area to help off-market association members get to every place they need to go, where they do business, and to help and support them. So just briefly, whenever you're going to make an SBA loan referral, you would click here. When you enter a new asset that you have sourced off market for the Genesis Capital database, that's where you would click, that's where you would go. You're making a bank referral for SBA services, entering a small balance multifamily deal, commercial real estate loans, microloans. This is where you would refer the small businesses, and these are the email platforms and the university platforms, which I'll mention in just a few minutes. We also offer support buttons. So for instance, if there is a question that you have through Synovus Financial, you can submit a request, you can submit a question. We also have certain tabs, for instance, when you're going to upload loan applications or documentation. We have this feature. There are many things that you as a member will have access to, and there'll be full training and support. But this is to give you an idea of how the OMA Hub works and how it can make you more effective and more efficient as a member. We have assembled more than $50,000 worth of courses, of university courses, which are online for members of OMA, and this is divided between the SBA University for Synovus Financial and the off-market university, which really covers more of the real estate or the Genesis side. There's a wide variety of subjects, and on the next slide, I'm going to go online and give you a demonstration of these sites. Okay, so let's take a quick look at Synovus University and Off-Market University. We're back at the OMA Hub, and you'll see that there are two buttons here, Synovus and Off-Market University. You'll simply click through. You'll have your own login credentials. Mine are already programmed in, and you'll see we're at the Synovus University, which specializes in SBA, a very complex and a very specialized field. So we have a lot of courses, eligibility, and all sorts of things you need to know in SBA, which can take you to another level. We have such specialized courses as underwriting for hospitality, for medical practice, for Main Street retailers, etc. And there are a number of marketing courses and sales, as well as microloans. Why don't we just take a quick view of one of the videos just to give you an idea. You'll see within each course there are a number of videos, and you'll be able to work through these and just take the course that you want. Let's take a quick look at the marketing video number 4, and I'll just let this run for a few minutes so you can get a feeling.
Most people approach marketing very sloppily. That's my point, okay? And usually it's because they're under pressure, because the sales have dropped or whatever, and they're just trying to do something to get it out the door. It's not very effective, okay? You can create a system, even for marketing, so that your sales are repeatable, they're predictable, they're controllable, okay? You don't want to do it haphazard, by random acts. Just doesn't work very well. So, how do we do it?
That just gives you a little taste of the courses for Synovus University. Why don't we go to the Off-Market University, and we'll just give you a little peek behind the curtain there. Let's go back to the OMA Hub, and I'll show you how we click through to the Off-Market University. Now, the off-market university specializes more in commercial real estate and also financing related to it. So you see we have foundation courses, creating wealth through commercial real estate, mezz debt, and opportunistic. Let's just take a really quick peek at the mezzanine debt. You'll see that there are a number of courses and videos. Let's just randomly go. Let's go to, I think number 5 might be good. Structuring around senior debt. And let's take a little peek.
Structuring around the senior debt. We talked a little bit about this in our continuum example, but let me just make sure we hit it. Interest rate. This sounds simple, but let's reinforce it. The higher the interest rate on the senior debt, the less cash flow there is for the mezz debt. Mezz debt likes to get paid something current. It's not going to get paid probably its whole coupon current, but it wants something. So that's when you get into a pay and accrue. You pay me 10, pay me 6, pay me 8 current, and then the rest of it I'll take when at the exit. But if you can't, if you got such a high amount of interest rate on the first and it's eaten up all the cash flow, there's not any room on the mezz debt. A mezz debt lender will not look at value to make this loan. They're going to look at cash flow. So just don't say, oh, I got an appraisal and the appraisal's 70, so that means I can put a 10% mezz debt on it, right? Wrong, right?
Okay, so that just gives you a little hint and a little click of what's going on at the two universities. As an off-market association member, you will have full access to both of these universities, and that's currently $50,000 worth of courses. We recommend that you try to work in perhaps one afternoon a week to work through these courses, and this will help you become more competitive and more informed. We are going to talk more about the marketing materials and the support that you will have as an OMA member. But first, on the next slide, we wanted to show you an example of a video. Some of the sourced assets for Genesis Capital will have a video promotion, and we'll make one about that particular asset for the Genesis database. So let's take a look. All members of the OMA will have a wide array of marketing materials to support their work. There are many brochures on different products and features. There are free reports, which are really authoritative reports on various subjects that can be used with your prospects. A number of videos, press releases, drip campaigns, etc. The members will also have a number of online tools to help them become more efficient, and that would include such things as the online CRM and the OMA Hub. Another resource we have for all OMA members is our share file system for both Synovus Financial and Genesis Capital. In the share file, we house for you marketing collateral, business cards, reports, information, videos, everything that you need for your work and for your projects in order to earn fees. So in this example, I have on the screen the microloan folder at Synovus, and you'll see here that we have brochures and flyers. That includes a drip campaign, which has 9 weeks of a campaign For every brochure, you can simply double click and it opens. You'll be able to save it on your hard drive, and you'll see that most of the brochures are customizable. So you would just click highlight existing fields and you can see where the fields are. So here you can enter as you wish, your name, your phone number, your email address, whatever you would prefer, and this allows you to have materials that you can then email or mail or hand out that are very customizable. So let me just go back. We have brochures, the general brochure. We have the first 2 weeks broken down by the most popular industries for the microloans. So we give you a wealth of information and as much support as possible. We have an authoritative report, or we call it the free report, which is the solution to small business dilemma. And in all areas of Synovus and Genesis, we have different free reports that approach different problems and different solutions, and this is a way for you to build some trust, some authoritative information, to have marketing materials. And the key point here is that we're giving you as many tools and as much support for you to be successful. So in the microloan program, we actually have a manual and mini business plan, which lays out, it's I believe a 30-page manual that gives you a lot of information and training, business cards, etc. So the point here is that OMA members are fully supported in all aspects of their business through both Synovus Financial and Genesis Capital. Let's take a very quick look at the CRM at Genesis Capital. When we sign in, we will have a number of tabs: leads, contacts, accounts, assets, investors, and resources. I'm going to show you the assets and the contacts, which are the two areas that many OMA members, Genesis members, use. So at the asset tab, this is where you can search for assets, when you create assets, anything to do with your work on the sourced commercial real estate notes, REOs, portfolios, or private client, that is the off-market deals. I'm going to show you a recently created asset, the 208 multifamily deal, because I'm going to show you the showcase next and how the material that has been entered here will flow through onto the password protected showcase, which all of the 11,000 investors access. So when an asset is created, and here we can edit, we can duplicate, delete, etc. We have the basic CRM information: price, cap rate, NOI, who is the seller, the description of the asset. We have property details. If it's a note, we have many of the note information that is relevant to a buyer. And we have an area where the images are uploaded and any particular documents for the due diligence. So what I'm going to do next is go to the showcase and show you how this asset will show on the showcase, and then we'll come back to the CRM again. Okay, so we are at the login page of the showcase. The investors who have been screened are given a password, and they will have access to this at 24/7, anytime they want. Now, the Genesis team sends out marketing emails, a number of marketing emails. Every time there's a new sourced asset, they will always include the asset ID number. So an investor can certainly search by an investment ID number. They can also search by a property type or by an asset type. So let's go in and look at the multifamily, because we want to look at that property we just saw in the CRM. And that was the 208 multifamily Class A deal here. Now, when an investor goes into an asset type, it's always the newest first. They'll be able to scroll through and see the newest deals, the newest assets. Many of them will just log in every few days and see what's going on, but they're always driven to this site with the marketing emails. So they say, oh, let's look at the 208 unit deal, and this is what they'll see. There's the basic information, the asking price, the cap rate, the NOI, etc., that was entered into the CRM, the description, which sometimes is very succinct and sometimes very detailed, and that will depend on the asset, and Genesis Capital members will help you as OMA members with that. There are details. These are the pictures that were uploaded on the CRM that can be clicked through, and they can also take a large view. Now, if they're interested, they can simply click on this tab, request information, that goes immediately to the Genesis team. They can ask questions or comments here. If they're an active member, they might just pick up the phone and call the COO. They can also respond by email to that marketing email. The next step for the Genesis buyers is to sign a confidentiality and fee agreement on the asset, and that is, of course, because this is an off-market deal and they are the ones who will be paying the transaction fee, not your client, the one you sourced the deal from. So that gives you a little taste of the showcase, and again, they can go through and look at notes, they can look at portfolios, they can look at REOs, and get the information that they need and that they want to see. We are back at the CRM, and this time we're going to look just briefly at the contact area. This is another area that OMA members will frequently use. You will be able to create and add your contacts of people you will be doing business with or your prospects, and then be able to keep track of appointments and other kinds of notes with them. So you can enter the new contacts one by one, or we have a feature whereby you can import your contacts through various formats. So it is just something that will be very effective and very useful for you for your uses for your CRM. So let's say that you have your contacts in the database and you needed to call one of your clients who was considering putting one of his off-market assets for sale on the showcase. And so when you search for a name, the most typical way is just to put the last name in, like I just did, Smith. You can certainly search by other items, but that's the most common. So we wanted to look at Mr. Jack Smith, and he has a company called the Apartment Group. He manages, buys and sells apartments, and he's someone that you've met and you've been talking to, and so you can see his information here that you've entered. Now you'll be able to keep track of your activities. You can schedule a meeting, log a call, create tasks. The history will show everything that you've done with the contact. And so, for instance, a note, you had created a note previously, and it was had a telephone call, discussed a Philly asset, call back on Monday. Whatever you want to do to make you effective and keep track of your meetings, your appointments, and your contacts, it's all possible for the OMA members within the Genesis database. I'll point out just a few more things for you. We have, let's go back to the home. Along the tab, you'll see resource links. This will get you to the CRM training, LOI requests, other kinds of policies and information that would be important for you as an OMA member. So that's just a taste of the off-market asset Genesis Capital database and CRM that you will have full access to as a member. On the next slide, we're going to take a quick look at a short video from Synovus about microloans, and this is an example of one of the 30 or more videos that we have for marketing. We have demonstrated some of the benefits of OMA membership, and we've given you a peek behind the curtain of many of the tools and platforms available to you as an OMA member. Our goal is to give you access to multiple sources of income and multiple opportunities to enhance your bottom line income. We support you with tools and platforms, and we offer such things as the $50,000 worth of education so you can stay competitive and informed. The cost of membership is $97 per month, and if you consider that an online CRM such as Salesforce.com costs $125 per month, I think you can see the cost-benefit analysis right away. OMA will help you and support you to become successful. Okay, well, we hope that you will join the Off Market Association, and we do look forward to welcoming you to our group. We'll have click-throughs for you, make it easy for you to join and to start the entire process. But in the meantime, we're going to end this webinar with a short video that we hope you will enjoy. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.